What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Shea Butter back with another video. Welcome back to Butter Talks, and we about to get real personal, real honest, real serious. So the whole point of my channel was to talk about mental health, the stigma, my journey, my struggles, the things I've gone through. So it's gonna be like a multi-series type of situation. I might make like a little playlist on my channel and stuff, but pretty much we're going to get into my mental health journey, and I hope this will help somebody that is going through what I'm going through, or has gone through the things that I've gone through to lead me up to where I am now. And yeah, so let's get into the video. So I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And to have all three of those is literally a struggle. Like it's a up and down battle, because like anxiety is like your mind running and racing, and like, you know, you worry a lot more than most people and stuff like that. And then depression is just like, you know, like you shut down, you lose interest in everything. And then post-traumatic stress is like you're getting triggered of traumas that you've been through. It triggers like a physical or mental response. So like juggling all three of those things has been a literal roller coaster for me. And when I first got diagnosed with it, it kind of like put into perspective. Like I thought I was going crazy, and I was like, there's something wrong with me, I'm going crazy, I don't know what's happening. And I was stressed out. Like I was going nuts. I was, you know, the S word. We're not gonna say the whole word, the S word. I was the S word a lot. There has been many attempts, trust me. And one thing that helped me was trying to find the help that I need. And it was not easy. I've gone through 3 or 4 different therapists, and like I think 3 different types of medications just to be able to get by every day. And it has been a struggle, like rocky. And so we're gonna bring it back, and this is gonna be like a little therapy session for myself in a way, but also like so you guys can really get to know how I got to where I got. So when I was a kid, my father got deported when I was little, and so he was like in and out of my life, in and out of jail and stuff like that. So that was hard, but I kind of knew he loved me in a way, but like he wasn't very emotional. My father, he's very more hardcore, like this is what it is, this is real life, this is the whole life and stuff like that. And it was hard for me to understand. It took me a very long time to understand and accept my father for how he is, because I'm an emotional person. So to have a parent that's not so emotional was very confusing for me. And to have 2 parents at that who weren't super emotional, because my mother was kind of similar, was like mentally frustrating for me, because I was just like, who do I talk to about all these emotions that are running through my head? I'm a Cancer, so on top of being a Cancer, I have these mental health stuff, and I'm just like, like what am I doing? So I kind of like never had like a stable set household. I was kind of mostly bounced around. I lived with my grandmother, which was the beginning of my mental health struggles, I believe. Then I would bounce back to my mom's house, and then sometimes I'd stay at my other grandmother's house, and sometimes I stay with my dad. I was never like consistently in one place. I think I changed schools every 2 years. So like having people consistently in my life was like not a thing. So there was that. And then living with my grandmother, most of my childhood was me pretty much getting molested and beaten. And it was confusing, and it was a struggle, and it was hard because it was by a family member. So, and no one knew but certain people did know and didn't protect me, and I had to sever ties with those people, because to this day, those people still to this day act like either it was my fault why I was getting molested, or actually those words did come from their mouth, that you liked it, that's why you didn't tell anybody. Because I didn't come out about me being molested until I was like 14. And that was a whole situation in itself. It was blame on me, and that was messed up, because how does a child choose to be beaten and molested by a family? We don't get to choose that. So those of you who have family out there who, like, you can sense that something's going on, or you're wondering and the child is telling you no, most likely it's a yes. Because when I tell you, I wanted to come out and I wanted to say something, but the person threatened my mom, threatened me, threatened, all kinds of things. And as a kid, that is scary for someone that you're supposed to look up to, and to be a family member, to make you feel like you can't go to nobody about the thing that you feel that's happening to you that is so wrong. And so that was a beginning to a complete spiral. And it was confusing, because I was raised by my grandmother in a way, and in her household I wasn't safe. And then the times when I was staying with my mom, I was safe, but she wasn't really home much and stuff like that. So it was just like a whole situation. And then on top of that, when I did come out, the blame was put on me. And then everyone in my family kind of moved on from it. So everyone was still doing Christmases and holiday dinners and chilling, when I was carrying the secret that I finally came out about, and I still had to live with this person. Literally live with this dude and be under the same roof with him. And on top of that, everyone, it was just like no one sat me down and talked to me about it. No one said, yo, Shay, you know what? Talk to me about what happened. No one had a conversation with me after I came out about it. And it was just like, that was confusing for me. So here I am growing up, but yet I'm still the little girl who was carrying this thing, and no one sat me down and tried to hear me or understand me. So it was kind of like anytime I was around my family, it was like being in a glass see-through case by myself, my family surrounding it, and it's filling up with water, and I'm begging like, yo, let me out, like, hear me, like, I'm right here, and they're staring right at me, but they don't see me. And that was my feeling most of the time growing up. That's how I felt around my family, especially after I came out about everything that happened to me. And my grandmother, even, there was a point where she came at me physically about it, and I had to sprint out the house and stuff like that. It was a hot mess. Those years were a complete hot mess, and I still had to live with those people, and it was mentally exhausting. And then on top of that, my relationship with my dad was like up and down and all over the place. Sometimes I hear from him, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes he would be around, sometimes he wouldn't. It was all over the place. And then on top of that, my mom, there was a sense of, I feel like my mom had mental health issues as well, but she didn't talk to me about it. And whenever I came to her about my mental health issues, instead of getting me help, she would either get angry with me, like there was something wrong with me. And it was hard. It was very painful, going through what I went through and feeling like I was going through it all by myself. There was times where I'd get quiet and she would get angry with me, but I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know I had all these mental health stuff. I didn't get diagnosed till I was 20. So I didn't know what was going on. So I feel like a lot of people, especially in the Black community, they need to sit down with their children and make them feel comfortable to talk to them about anything they're going through or feeling, their mental, even if they're wrong for how they're feeling, but that's how you as a family member is making them feel. Talk, like, you know what, that was not my intention to make you feel like that, but I got you. I love you. I'm here for you. Because let me tell you, I didn't have that. I would sit there and say how I felt. I'd send messages to family members, but no one sat me down and said, I am right here for you. I get that's what you're feeling and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm right here and I have your back. That wasn't a thing for me. I had to have my own back, and I had outside people that weren't blood who had my back more than anybody else. And that was hard because, like, being the type of person I am, family is everything for me. I have such high morals and high hopes for what family is that it was hard for me to juggle trying to figure out why my family wasn't there for me like I needed them to be. But then I learned later on in life that expectations is what will get you in serious mental trouble. Expectations of people and that letdown was my trigger. And I never knew that until late, like 20 something years old, where I learned that expectation is what was affecting me. And so, like, you know, on top of me, you know, bouncing between houses, the molestation, you know, coming out about it, feel like no one had my back. Then on top of that, you know, I got into a relationship, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, and how my mother found out that's a whole other story. That's a whole different story, let me tell you. Oh my God, anyways, pretty much got pregnant with my daughter. My mom found out. She didn't talk to me from the day she found out. She would talk to me every now and then outside the house, but at home, it was like complete opposites. Like, she would stay in one room, I'd be in a different room. I'd have to fend for myself. I was in college and working full time at the time. And I was like just before my final semester. So like, and then on top of that, working full time at Walmart. Walmart was my first job. Shout out to Wallywood. And you know, she found out I was pregnant, and she stopped talking to me like completely. And then when I would try to come to her for stuff, she's like, "Yo, you don't come to me for nothing, at all." But then on the outside, when we're outside of the house, she's like, "This is my daughter this, my daughter that, my daughter da da da." But get home and like nothing. My daughter was born, and she was like, "Don't ask me to change no diapers, nothing. I'm not watching her, nothing." Which was fine because I had my daughter's father in my life, and he was very consistent. Still to this day, very consistent. He's the bomb.com, and he has been a major support system, major consistent support system that I kind of like. I think everything happened for a reason in a way when it comes to me and him, because the flow of everything that happened afterwards, if he wasn't there, the S word. That's just what it is. It's facts, it's the truth. The S word. I mean, I still had attempts, but he pulled me out, pulled me through. I'd hit rock bottom, and that was who was there. And about less than a year after I had my daughter, my mother passes away. And that was confusing for me. It was a very confusing time. I was very, it was like I lost something, but I not gained. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a rough time for me because just before she passed, she told me she wished she never had me. And to hear that from your mother's mouth while you're having a panic attack, when pretty much, let me bring it back. After I had my daughter, I sat down with my mom. I said, "Listen, Mom, I'm thinking about moving out, but I'm scared to because I don't want you to struggle financially, because I was helping my mom pay for a lot of the bills with what I was doing working at Walmart. So I was scared to leave and then my mom struggle. Like, regardless of everything that I've been through, that's my mom. So of course, like, her being okay was important to me. But she lost it on me, and I was so confused because I didn't come in no sideways, out of pocket where I said, "Hey Mom, like, I want to move out. I have a baby now. Like, I need to grow up, but I'm scared because I don't want to put you in a bad financial situation." and she lost it on me. And she was like, you can go, I don't really care if you go. Like, I never wanted you in the first place. My life would have been so much easier. Like, she just lost it on me. And I feel like back then it was mentally, that was hard, and I had a panic attack on the spot. And then she started praying and throwing holy water at me, and I'm just like, yes, I love God, but he's not going to fix everything. And West Indians really need to stop throwing that at their kids when their kids are going through something, or throwing that at people in general. Yes, you can pray through the things you're going through, but there's one thing between praying through the things you're going through and only relying on that to get you through what you need to get done. You need to get up, and you need to address things and figure out a way to fix it while still having your prayer and praying about it and stuff like that. But throwing prayer at everything and thinking, okay, I prayed about it, it's gonna get fixed. No, you pray about it, but you also need to get things done and do things to get it to a place where it's fixed or dealt with. But praying about it and ignoring it is not okay. It's not. Like, religion is a very sensitive subject for me. We're gonna do a video on that another time. But pretty much, and then 2 weeks after that whole incident happened, she went to cardiac arrest and ended up in the hospital. And then I got a phone call that, she's on life support. And that was a rough, confusing situation for me, because my mother just told me she never wanted to have me, but now I can't even sit down and have a conversation with her, and I was just like, then on top of that, you go to the funeral and stuff like that, and everyone's telling you how much your mother loved you, but you were just told just before she passed that she didn't want you, and like, that was very frustrating for me and very hard for me, and it was confusing. And that's when I spiraled to a very dark spot. But yeah, so that is my mental health journey. Well, the negative side about it. I'm going to do another video where I talk about how I got to where I am today, where I am not good, I'm not great, I'm not perfect, but I'm living with it and I'm managing it well. There's one thing about mental health is, like, you can't sit there and be like, it needs to get fixed or go away. It doesn't go away. You have to learn how to live with it and manage it. That's how mental health works. People make it seem like it's this thing that you can just, like, it's like a pimple. You throw some toothpaste on it and it gonna fix up and be done and good to go. That's not how it goes. Mental health is you working at it every single day and finding ways to live with it. Because guess what? It's just your personality trait. I am buttatalks, and I have anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm living with it. And I'm okay with who I am. And that's me. Like, comment, share, subscribe, join the gang, and I'll see you another time.